This is Make and Watch. I'm Tommy Skaggs. Today we're going to be doing a short review of the 2016 horror film called They're Watching. Now, off the bat, this movie is classified as a found footage horror comedy. So, I mean, that's kind of a lot of things already off the bat. Found footage horror comedy. I think this is more of a classification of maybe FPS spoopy. I don't know. It's definitely scary. It's definitely, I don't know if I would classify it as horror. I don't know if I would classify it as the whole thing as a supernatural horror. But it's definitely shot from a first-person perspective. And it's scary. It really reminds me of the Blair Witch Project, but instead of being caught in the woods, you're actually caught in a Eastern European village where all the locals seem like they're out to get you, and it's just really confusing navigating, not knowing the language, and only having a constable coming around every once in a while, just right at the right moment to come save the day. So the premise of this movie is pretty interesting. Have you ever seen the movie or the TV show called House Hunters? So it's pretty much you take a couple, you show them three houses, and at the end of the show they'll pick a house. And a lot of times that's ridiculous to begin with. It's like, well, I'm unemployed and he's a school teacher and our budget's $2.5 million. So it's a silly concept to begin with. But this movie actually starts with that. It's a House Hunters ripoff where they have an artist who wants to go live in an Eastern European village off the grid to focus on artwork to escape New York City. So the very beginning of the movie is that. It's pretty much a rip-off House Hunters episode, and it goes through that, and then the movie starts, or the premise of the movie starts 6 months after that, when they want to go and check in on the couple to see what type of renovations that they've done, and that's when things start happening. So I wasn't too like it was kind of an interesting start to a movie, but I wasn't really sold on the storyline. It was just, okay, here's just a bunch of stupid Americans going to a European place, looking like idiots. But it wasn't until this scene right here. It's something. Look at the way that it's shot. Look at the way that the colors are, and just an element of mystery here. So let's take a quick look at a quick scene here.
Let's keep walking.
Îmi pare rău, nu puteți filma. Are loc o înmormântare aici. Nu se poate.
Oh, the cameras?
Nu se poate.
We can't have cameras? Okay, that's no problem. We'll just, we'll drop them off. That's fine.
Da.
That's okay. Yeah. Oh. Of course, Sarah? Sarah. It's fine. Let's just turn this off, yeah?
Are you sure this is a good idea?
Yeah, this is sort of the thing Kate wants. Okay, that's fine. Shut this off, okay? Thank you.
This place is so cool.
Yo, look at this. Look at the fresco on the wall. Look in there.
Are they burning her?
3 o'clock on a Wednesday. These people are at church. That's crazy.
What is that painting?
I don't know.
Vă rog să treceți la locurile dumneavoastră să putem începe slujba. La locurile dumneavoastră.
It's a funeral.
Oh my gosh, those were kids.
So that was, that was pretty good. I didn't spoil the rest of the clip there, but I want you to go watch it yourself. So one of the things that really kind of caught my attention here is the fact that even though it was found footage, so that would be like, the Blair Witch, where they found footage later. I don't know if that's necessarily true the way that it is true in the Blair Witch, but I do know, like I said, I'm not going to try to do any spoilers here, but I would disagree with found footage and the fact that it's a comedy. I'm not so sold on the fact that of the comedy aspect of this movie. There is one actor. There's his name is Dmitry Dyachenko, and he kind of adds some comic relief throughout. He's the real estate agent, and he goes back and tries to make a name for himself to sell houses, and he has a lot of funny one-liners. He's a funny character. But I also looked into him a little bit, and he's done a lot of voice acting for a ton of video games.
Only the best moonshine in the Commonwealth. Bobro's best, I call it. Robots should try.
And he's had a really successful career as an actor. And one of the cool things, there's a point in the movie where he actually plays guitar, and he's like a professional guitar player. So it was really neat to see that little scene that his guitar that he plays is actually him playing in the movie. So that was kind of interesting. There was one other kind of fun little nugget that was in here. There's a couple of the crew that was, because it was a first-person horror, so everybody has their own camera and they're taking it out. So the crew, they have this candy bar that they're really seeking out. It's called a doina, and there's actually a petition on Change.org to make doina come into the United States. So I believe it was part of the movie promotion because it was actually posted as the character. So it was pretty funny. I'll have the link to that in the description below. But you know what? Even though it reminded me of a little bit of the Blair Witch, it definitely had a great storyline. It was very suspenseful. It was fun. Had some really interesting twists. Had some really good characters. It really did a good job of these first-person horror films do. It actually made me feel that I was there. I was feeling the intensity. Whenever the villagers would come around, you would actually feel like they're watching you. So it was really great. I highly recommend this movie. It doesn't have the highest ratings across the board, but this is one that I definitely think if you're into that type of movie, I think you should give it a try. So this is Make and Watch, and then my name is Tommy Skaggs. Have a good day.